What's so funny?
Nothing.
That's the first thing I noticed.
Where's everybody else at?
Jim, it didn't make that noise before.
I wanted
Did you do that humming? It didn't do that before.
Yeah, let out, which I'm really late, so.
Well, no, it's always made a sound, but it didn't really sound like that.
You mean the one that kind of makes it sound like it's a jet engine?
Hot in here. Really
Yeah,
hot.
I'll
Oh, sorry, Jackie.
Oh, it feels good in here.
Holy crap. Can you give me the phone?
No, it's too.
Can I get a quick
He's like, here, watch it. No. Sets, let's get started.
Which one?
Whoa.
Can I go get a drink of
Why
water?
don't you guys do that before you come in?
We just got out of the
I know,
library.
but on your way by.
Because I don't want to be late.
Well,
Think about the logic there, Sadie.
Yeah, but if I ask you, then I won't be tardy. But if I don't ask you,
Well,
then
spell's already wrong, so hurry up.
Okay. So that means I can go, right? Is that okay? Thanks.
do we need our computer though?
Always.
No. Can we open the window?
No.
Why, for that?
Yeah.
Involve me.
Why is everyone's face red today?
Balling it up.
Did you not have PE?
No. They get to choose.
Man, I wish I would have known that. I wish I would have known that. Still would have done PE. Yeah, it's like I still would
No, I
have
can
done
do it, yeah. You guys should have done it for sure. It's water. Are you guys gonna do PE whatsoever?
I don't know anybody.
They can
that
just-
knows.
they can just take it all
Anyone's gonna do PE?
Okay. Take it on.
I do weightlifting. Yeah.
I might do gym next week.
It's hot in here. Better shake.
What
are you doing?
I didn't think I had to. I still got my jacket.
Who's not here? Sadie, you need your computer up. Yeah, you guys, you need your computers every day, just bring them.
I don't think it did.
Yeah, it did, second bell rang.
Oh yeah, I rang like 5 minutes ago.
That's what somebody said.
Wait, I thought you weren't here on Mondays.
Yeah.
I'm here every other day.
Oh. And the weekend counted.
Yeah. So like this week, in the armor it was A, B, A, B.
So you have a black screen.
Correct. Yes.
Oh, here it goes light, dark, light, dark.
But we don't have a black schedule, it's the same thing every day.
We don't have that anymore?
That's funny. We
No.
haven't had that for a
You
while.
haven't noticed that you're not in a block schedule?
No.
Nice.
I wish we were in a block schedule.
so what?
Oh.
No, I do not.
I
I hated block schedule.
It's awesome, you need your computer out.
Oh.
Hang on, we're gonna talk about assignments here real quick. My turn.
You would have math and English every day.
My turn.
Because they're dumb.
What is the opposition to doing assignments on the computer?
What's an opposition?
You don't do that. You all print off the assignments and then you do them by hand and then you hand them in.
It's easier. I feel like you get it done faster.
I'm more of a hand writing kind of guy.
We need to not do that. We need to do it online. And then we need to upload it into Edmodo. Yes. That is the quickest way to get feedback back to you. Because if you turn it into Mrs. Fridley, I can't touch it until I get my hands on it. And especially when it's just a Word doc. And PDF, sometimes I might give you a break on that, but yeah, if it's just a Word doc and it's you filling in some blanks, you need to do that online, okay? That's now mandatory, all right? Easy enough?
Yeah.
What do you mean you can't find your computer? Huh? Well, then your statement would be incorrect, right? Yeah, I like accuracy. Accuracy is awesome.
That is our bringing that.
All right. Yes. Bring your computer. Always. Look. You read 7 and 8. Did you read 9? Just 7 and 8.
Not 9, so.
Ah. Yeah, well, catch yourself up. You got to be where we're all at. You got to be where we're all supposed to be, right? What are we thinking as to where it's at right now?
It's good.
In what way? Intense. What's intense at this point?
Just the story.
What?
When they found the tree and everything.
Ah, the tree with the items hidden in it. Yes. All of those items have some sort of symbolic meaning, and if you look on the cover of your book, that's what the publisher of this particular edition chose to put on the cover, was those items that are in the tree. Got distracted?
That's fine.
Twine, I thought it was yarn.
Ah, twine. It's, well, some kind,
Fine.
depending on the twine, it can be yarn consistency. Yes, give or take. Right? But not right this very minute, no. All right, so we're going to tackle, I work in 2-week projects, and I think you guys are familiar enough at this point. We're gonna hit our first 2-week project. Yay.
Your internet's
Woo!
yeah, my internet's not working. I restarted it 3 times.
I got.
Hang on just a second, we'll get there, all right? All right, questions so far? Ah, all right. Who feels daring enough to answer a question?
Right here.
All right, Colton.
Daredevil.
Done, done, done.
Oh, wait, what is it about the book?
No, no, it's a really big, broad question.
Okay.
Are you ready? How can us looking at our past inform us about our present? Hang on, hold your thought, you'll go next.
Say it again.
How can looking at our past inform us about our present?
Because like what you did in the past is like determine what's gonna happen.
So you're looking at hindsight, is what you're saying? You get to look back and figure out what you didn't do?
Yeah.
Okay,
Make your choices.
cool.
Well, sometimes the past reflects on what you are doing instead of what you're doing.
Say that again.
Sometimes the past reflects on what you were gonna do. Somebody else.
That is not true though.
Sometimes.
Speak. Why isn't that true though?
Okay, so I have a sister,
Yeah.
she's older than me.
Cool.
She has a baby now, and
Awesome.
she had her when she was 19.
Okay.
My dad doesn't want us to do anything nowadays because he thinks that we'll turn out to be like her. She graduated high school now, and she was going to the Marines, but she dropped out of that. My dad is scared that we might make the same mistake as her, but as in like if we go to college, he's scared that we might like drop out of college. You see, that's not the point, because we won't, and he knows we won't, and he knows that we know that we're better than that, so why would we do it?
Better than that. I was 19 when I had my first kid. I was married, but. Uh-huh.
You were married at
16
19.
words.
You were married at 19 years old.
Absolutely.
And you're still married today.
Correct. I'm the same guy even.
I cried.
Loyal.
I cried.
Why is that a shocker? I'm a little torn by why that's so shocking.
Because, like, how could you stand with the same guy for like right as you get out? I get sick of it. I get sick of it. Getting married at 19. No, how would you don't get to enjoy your boyfriend's birthday. You have to enjoy. You have to worry about the sitter. You're not being married. You didn't know all of your husband.
22.
I feel like you're gonna hate him.
You can be the parents.
How many kids do you have then?
2. All grown.
How old are you when you had your second child?
21.
Oh my God. I cried.
19 is not that
Ah.
bad. 16 is bad. People back in the day used to go for a girl 19 to get married at 15.
No, or 13 even.
Way better.
Okay, so,
Lucas.
oh, that is hilarious. Okay, so being married at 19 shocks you? What if I told you we were engaged after we knew each other 2 weeks?
You're like,
I can understand.
I'm done with this. I'd be like,
What year is this?
87.
Okay, so
Maybe
that
the first thing.
makes sense.
So, okay, so let's say you met each other 2 weeks ago.
Actually, it's pretty close, because, yeah, we got engaged over Thanksgiving, so.
because you invited him to his to your house and then you guys ate and he was like,
Will you
No.
marry me? How do you engage, or like, how do you propose?
He asked. I said yes.
Did he get down on one knee?
No. Why would you do that? It hurts.
Guys, take a little tip right here, please.
Don't get down on one knee.
Yeah, that's right. Get on
Yes,
both
ma'am.
knees.
That's nasty.
How does it help us with our present day? Go ahead. We repeat our past? What do you mean by that?
If you don't know your past, you're bound to repeat
What do you mean by that?
So I've heard hindsight so far. I've heard repeat our past.
Explain that just a little bit for us.
I want to take an asshole away.
Listen to your classmates. Addison, you want to add to this? Okay. Oh, give it a shot. Makes you think about things. How many of you listen to those stories that your parents talk about, that your grandparents talk about, those kinds of things? How many of you listen to those stories?
Depends.
Depends on what, Sadie?
Depends on what it's about.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I only listen to my mom when, like, it's interesting.
What type of story?
That's a good question.
What type, well, like, what type of story
Yes.
do I listen to?
What makes it interesting to you?
Like,
When you hear stories about the past, when you hear stories about history,
Like
what's interesting to you?
like,
We're coming to you next, Zach.
Okay.
okay, like my mom told me a story once whenever she got in a boxing ring with this girl, like, who won a title.
Cool.
And then, I listened to that story. So, like, sports.
So
And
things that you
drama.
like, you'll tend to pay more
Yeah.
attention to. Okay, Zach.
Well, do you mean like stories that our parents have like, lived through?
Sure.
Like, of their past, like when they were kids?
Sure.
Oh, there's plenty of those.
Do you listen to them?
Yeah, if I think like I can learn something from them.
Interesting.
Or
At what
unless,
point in
they
time?
tell me you're not allowed to listen to this, go.
Cool. At what point in time during the story do you figure out whether or not there's something to be gained?
When they say, and that's why you don't do this.
So when they flip it at the end usually, right? And that's why kind of situation? All right.
Like the moral of the story.
Does anybody else want to add to this? No? Yes, ma'am.
I listen when it's like about how they lived back then. Cause I like listening like how they were and how we get treated and stuff.
Who are the they? And when is the when? Just your parents?
Yeah, when
Okay.
they're younger.
When they were younger? Your age or younger? Or maybe even older?
Well, it was like my age and younger.
Okay. Why does that intrigue you?
I don't know. I just like to see, like, you will see like how they lived back then, and then think about how they got treated, and now think about how we get treated. Like they didn't have cell phones back then, and our kids just get spoiled.
Why is it spoiled that you have a cell phone and we didn't?
It's just like whatever kids ask for, they get, and what they ask for, they didn't get very much.
I might take exception to the fact that you guys are spoiled because you have a cell phone.
I have something called a crappy track.
That's okay.
Still better now.
True.
True.
My dad still has a flip phone. He refuses
Like,
to move on from
right.
it.
Yes, ma'am.
When my
Obama's,
mom
still uses it.
was like my age, if she wanted to go into town like during the summer, her mom took her into town like once a month. But if she really wanted to go into town, like they went to the pool like every 2 times a week, she'd rode her horse 7 miles into town
Your mom
just to
did
go
it?
to the pool.
Your mom's cool.
Yeah, and like nowadays we go into town like every day. We all have cars.
What she
We
does.
ask-
Spoiled.
we can,
I'm old fashioned like my horse.
I like the horse idea, but I have to go back to that. Why does that make you guys spoiled?
Me?
Yeah.
Good.
Some kids.
Like some kids don't even get that. Like they don't get their own cars. Some kids don't even get like a phone.
So you're not saying it's spoiled because your generation has it and ours didn't?
No.
Okay,
I'm saying,
alright.
like it's spoiled
between kids.
Oh, interesting. So there's definitely a dichotomy between those who have and those who don't.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean by dichotomy?
No.
Those two things exist in the same plane, but they don't necessarily have the same benefits.
If
From
you
Let's
don't
go.
have a cell phone,
dichotomy,
Yeah.
if you
How
don't
does
have
that
a
spell?
D-I-C-H. Go ahead.
If you don't have a cell phone or a car, it doesn't really mean you're spoiled. I mean, you can have things too, and you can be included spoiled.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like,
I just don't, yeah, I take exception to the word spoiled because all of us, given the right situation, would want the same thing. So just because somebody does and somebody doesn't, right? It's priorities. If I have an extra $20, I'm gonna go buy a book, I'm not gonna go buy candy.
Yeah, that's.
You know? So, there you go. Yes, ma'am. Hang on a minute.
I'm Brianna. She lives in the Greek.
Uh-huh.
And the festival, so it's kind of interest.
Uh-huh.
I make candy.
And then
How
it
come?
kind of, that hasn't happened to me, I didn't get to experience, but it kind of makes you think, what if I did? And feel the way they felt.
Okay.
You know?
Christian and then Cole.
I have a definition of
Sure.
dichotomy. A division or contrast between two things that are or are represented as being opposed or entirely different.
Yeah.
Dichotomy.
Cole.
I've been spoiled how my step-niece's friend, who was 4, has had them since 4.
Seriously? She's
Yeah.
4 years old.
And she has a what? That's.
If I had a small child right now, I'd probably have some sort of a tracking device on them
Yeah.
at all times.
But it was 4, it's still with you.
Yeah, right.
No, not all the time.
You could just have like an iPhone.
It goes to daycare and home. That's it.
Well, it could also.
Still, for me, it shouldn't be a tracking device.
It could get
I don't know why you would.
So she got
Oh,
home.
I-
and
I
she
got
was
the
like,
Amber Alert this summer for
I'm
the
not
white
here.
man picking up little kids.
Okay, Catherine, I see where you're
I like
going
the
with this. Like, would you trust a child with a brand new computer?
iPhone
Like
6.
a 4-year-old child, like keep track of it.
No, I hardly keep track of my phone.
Same.
You might put a chip in it.
Yeah, but that doesn't depend on how old it is. It depends on the responsibility.
It's a
Maturity.
4-year-old. All
And the
they
maturity.
care about is candy
Yeah, I know where
and
you're
toys.
coming from here too, because I have
Or brother.
a little cousin that's like really smart and he can memorize song lyrics and everything. He's probably like 3. And it's really scary.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the kid.
And the responsibility and the
It
maturity.
depends if they deserve it, if they've earned it.
Ah,
It's song.
earned it.
Never mind.
Good phrase.
Well, I
Good
raised
job.
for phone since I was 5. I got one in 6th grade.
Shut up.
You know,
Never mind.
there's days I'm okay with that.
I know, I hardly use my phone. It literally
There you go.
is
I'm
a
gonna not
food
a phone,
device
I
to tell my
Get
mom to
log
get
on
food and she
Snapchat,
brings it.
something else.
He says it weird though.
All right, so the first thing that we need to do in the course of solving any problem is we have to brainstorm. In order to brainstorm, tell me what brainstorming has been in your past. If I told you to brainstorm, what would you go do? Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Write what things down?
Second grade, but I came in.
Whatever the topic is, so brainstorm a couple of things for me. In your experience, what would you brainstorm about that? Tough, isn't it? If you don't have anything, it's tough to brainstorm, right? So I'm gonna throw in, yes,
One thing with me is brainstorming.
Sure.
When I brainstorm, I just go off and do something else, because it seems like I'm better at coming up with ideas when I'm not trying to come up with ideas, and when I'm trying to come up with ideas, I can't come up with anything.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna throw out the idea of brainstorming as it exists in your world today. And we're gonna add those things that you guys are more familiar with in your 21st century. So the very first thing I want you to do anytime you brainstorm is I do want you to think about those things that you already know. 1930s, what do you know about the 1930s? They're old, Great Depression, they're old, dirty 30s. Huh? Dust storm, what else? What else?
Wasn't that a market crash?
No call.
Was there what?
Stock
Not good.
crash?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that. Oh, stock market, 1929. It existed through the 1930s Great Depression, right? Right? What else? If we listed everything they didn't have though, we'd be there forever, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, so we want to always concentrate on the positive side of that, the things that we actually know.
Starting to get better with colors.
Better with cars, in what way?
In
Because I take a 1920s Roadster over a 1930s Roadster, but that's just me.
Cheap.
I'm wondering during at that time to figure
Running.
out how to mass produce things.
Mass production, right? What else? Make things run better. Cole,
Were they cheaper?
the cars? No, in fact, it got more expensive.
Still can afford.
Yes, all right. So, when you start brainstorming, that's the first thing I want you to do. I want you to bomb it from your brain. I want you to put down everything you think you know. I do not want you to filter. I do not want you to stop putting down an idea because you think it may or may not be right.
Okay, don't filter them.
Don't filter, all right?
Hashtag no filter.
Hashtag no filter.
Hashtag yes filter.
No,
Come out.
no filters. That's okay. That's
That's
okay.
not.
All right? So the second thing that I want you to then do is I want you to go to the tools sitting in front of you. And I want you to research.
Oh, that's
This is the first thing, always. The second thing is to research using the web. Now, I say web. Yeah, I say web, but I mean big. So you know there's a great text hanging off on the shelf in here. You're welcome to look through that. You know that there's something somewhere else. You're welcome to look through print materials, right? What's most accessible to you most of the time is what's sitting right in front of you. Now, here's the deal. How many of you like to do research? Awesome, I do too. Research takes me off on a journey of topics. Now, here's the deal with this. The way you get results from research all comes from, hi Isabel, all comes from the way you form the questions. Do you need me or them?
You.
Cool, what do you need?
I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I'm going to be at business camp.
Shut up.
I already have my essay turned in, but
Okay.
is there anything?
There will be, we'll talk about it today.
Oh, good.
Because you'll be here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Did you ever get 2081 watched?
20. Yeah, I did. I made my mom watch it too. She was like, "That's freaky. What is that even about?"
You should now hear the story.
What?
You now give her the story to read.
She won't read that. She's way too late.
Oh, heavens. All right, so when you research, it all comes down to the way you phrase questions. How many of you just like to put the question into your search box? What if I said Boolean to you? Would you know what I mean by that?
Say what?
Boolean.
No, I don't like to do that.
Like a Boolean cube, like you put in soup?
No,
Yeah.
that is that.
Exactly.
Boolean. A Boolean search is done by your computer's code.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially, the search engines ignore all those words that don't mean anything. So let's say you put in that particular question. How can looking at our past help us determine our present? It's going to look for past, looking, determine, present. And everything else is probably going to be ignored. And then it's going to frame it based upon what's left. Okay? The other thing you need to know about researching on the internet is that Google, Bing, Dogpile, Yahoo, all of them have people who pay to put their sites higher up in the search. When you do a
Also-
search just for To Kill a Mockingbird, I'll bet real money that SparkNotes and Schmoop come up 1 and 2.
Yeah, let's see.
You probably looked right before
Okay.
this class.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's try. Bing.
SparkNotes is a pay-for site. They get money by that being out there. That's why they're there. Okay? So, when you search, you oftentimes have to go to pages 2, 3, 4 in order to get
Yep.
really good information.
SparkNotes and
Oh, IMDb, sure.
Yep.
Internet Movie Database, which is
Yep.
really a great site. Okay? So when you do your searching, searching on the internet is a skill all by itself. So, the rest of this class, go ahead and go to Edmodo.
What's in Modo?
I was going to have to throw something at you, Sadie.
You still can.
Nah.
There you go.
All right?
it's just like, do it.
Alright. It's called Am I My Brother's Keeper? Brainstorm. You're going to come up with a list of 10 things from the 1930s. That list of 10 things from the 1930s have to be something that you have some sort of passion about. Just simply choosing 10 random things that you don't really care about will make the rest of this go really tough
We have
for
to
you.
research
Okay?
that.
Huh? Go ahead. Everybody read the directions first.
Where's the direction?
In it, photo.
This is a wording thing. So by something from the 1930s, does that mean it was specifically from the 1930s?
Hold that thought, that's a really good question.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody first read the directions. Oh. I can tell you that we should be in Advoto already.
Question, what does this have to do with
I'm not real. All right, find the assignment, read the directions.
What the?
What assignment is it? Hashtag.
Am I my brother's keeper? Question mark, brainstorm.
I guess you have to look on it.
Yes.
Is that?
Right here, right there.
Okay. Yes. All right, Miss Kaylee, what do you think the directions tell you to do?
List 10 things that, 10 items from the 1930s.
And-
Brainstorm about.
And do what? Tells you specifically to do something with them.
Brainstorm.
Say again?
That you feel connection.
Good, so you have to find 10 items you feel the connection to. What are you gonna do with those 10 items? Yeah, look. You're gonna list them, then what are you gonna do with them?
Right here.
Go ahead.
Find out how they affect you today.
Correct. And that's the key. How do they affect you today? That isn't going to be found in the search engine. How they affect you today will not be found in a search engine. What that item is all about can be, but how that affects you today won't be. 1930s, my grandmother as well, right? Started having kids in the 1930s. Her recipes from the 1930s, the ones that involved no money because they had none, are still used in my kitchen today. That's how that affects me today. I couldn't find that on the search engine. But I could find out about the 1930s and how they saved money, right, on the web. Questions so far? Christian had a good one.
So from items from the 1930s, is that specifically only from the 1930s time period, or could it have been invented in there but still exist afterwards, or could it have existed before the 1930s?
And just kept going into the 1930s,
Yeah.
yes, to all of those. Do you all understand his question?
So as long as it existed somehow was part
Correct.
of the
For
1930s.
example, the 1929 stock market that Cole just mentioned a little while ago. That started in 1929, continued into the 30s. That's okay,
Okay.
okay? All right, now we need to name this file, right? And remember, you're gonna put your last name. And then you're going to call this TKAM brainstorm. Okay? Yes, Cole, you're gonna have to do it on paper, and then you're gonna have to transfer it to your computer when you find it.
Mayor did it right.
Yes, quickly. All right, does anybody have any questions now that you've got work done?
How do you do that?
How do you do what?
I don't know.
There's nothing to download.
No, make a Word document.
You're going to create a Word document. No, you're creating a Word document, don't do it in the reply section. You're gonna upload the Word doc.
So, by I mean list 10 items, like, what do you mean by items? Like,
Items, things, events, people,
Like spoons?
politicians, those kinds of things. Could be,
Spoons?
could be. I know what I'm thinking. Do you know what you're thinking with that?
What?
We still use spoons today.
We do. 1930s, actually, cars, you know? And again, you need to be very specific in your items. Be very specific in your
A
items.
silver spoon because
Yeah,
connection with it because I love to eat.
No.
Do you have?
You're not off on what you're doing, but when I say specific, you can't just put silver spoons. You're gonna wanna find a specific company from the 1930s that made silver spoons.
What? Do you Google it?
Yeah, I would. My husband would Bing it. If Google wasn't working very well for me, I'd go to Dogpile.
I don't know what dog pile is.
Question, what does this have to do with English?
Where do you start? Research? Is that why you're asking me what this has to do with English?
Wait, okay, it's 30s through 39.
Correct. But like Christian said, you could, like 1928, 29, things that started in the late 20s and kept going into the 30s.
What does
I would love to answer the question, I just don't know who asked it.
What does this have to
No,
do
hang on a
with
minute. Who asked the question?
Taking on the Word doc.
What?
What does this have to do with English?
I just did.
Oh, first of all, it's research, which is the greatest part of your writing standards. Second, it has to do with the literature that you are dealing with at this particular point in time. Third, it's writing. I can get you the standards, those will all be in Edmodo tonight. That's a good question. Where do you start? You have a really big topic, and you know you have to find what? Items from the 1930s, right? Specifically, people, things, events, politics, religion, almost anything from the 1930s. Because you're dealing with a time period, right? You're dealing with a big time period. Okay? So start there. Start with what real life was like in the 1930s.
They're also just like numbers.
It says the cheeseburger was invented in 1934.
Do you believe that? I don't know if I do or not. That's actually kind of intriguing.
I do not believe it.
So they didn't think about putting cheese on a hamburger until
Those I thought you made.
What are you supposed to like?
I wouldn't be 100% certain that they had ground meat the way we look at ground meat today.
Man, waffle maker.
They did. I've sold them on auctions. They're very, very cool. Especially when you go to the waffle makers that were put over fires.
Oh, we used to have one of those.
Oh, you mean like grilled cheese makers for campfires and stuff
A
like
little
that?
bit, yeah. Huh? You're gonna start just writing down what's in your head.
I don't get what was just to type into Google.
What are you looking for, Sadie?
1930s.
Sadie, what are you researching? You're trying to find items, things, events, people, all those kinds of things from the 1930s that you feel a passion for, right? Here's the deal with this, you guys. You must go deeper into your ideas. So if you're going to find like a bicycle, you're going to need to expand your thought behind that. Why is that an item in the 1930s? Oh, young people. Oh, we're going to use her as an example first. Yahoo's a terrible search engine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's an awful search engine. The other thing I would mention is research isn't done by looking at pictures. That's kind of a secondary kind of a thing. Researching is reading. A lot of it. Great deal of it.
Can I do a penny?
Bingo. I already found
What about
mine.
And again, you're coming up with a list of 10 things.
Okay, so what do you want us to write about them? Or is it just a list?
No. Go back to the motto. Look at your directions. To tell
A list.
And, yes. And again, so if you're, because I know this is the first thing you went to was a whole bunch of inventions. Why is this pertinent? Why is that important during this time? What was the purpose behind it? Are you sure? Are you sure?
Not serious exam.
Do you know the background of this
Who
during
gets
the
that?
1930s? No.
People, Andrew Carl, Tori.
And that's, you guys, that's the key. That is the key, is figuring out out why that thing that you are looking at is important during the 1930s.
Yeah, but I thought you said how it affects you today.
It is, but listen, you're gonna have to know the background of that item from the 1930s. This isn't just simply listing 10 things that were invented. You must know the background of those things. You must know the history behind it.
I used to put pretty smells.
I hate it when that happens.
Oh my goodness.
Coke, yeah, Coke.
Should I just go ask my grandma?
I'm stuck on food.
I think this
Yeah, my parents were my board.
My grandma's.
Oh,
I would think your parents wouldn't be. My dad was born in 38.
I just realized I know nothing about the 30s.
Just kidding. And what we think we know about the 1930s oftentimes is really wrong.
Yeah, well, I know nothing about the 30s.
I wish I
Wow.
were in
My grandma was in
That's kind of
This is giving me that
person. Wait, these items have like physical things?
No. In fact,
Okay.
I believe that not doing physical things would be a little easier, but you guys will have to
Okay.
figure out where your brain goes. Wikipedia, I hate to tell you this, is not to be used in my classroom.
You're picking on her.
I'm not, she's just happening. Yeah, I can't believe nobody else has really been to it.
What have been doing?
It's because it's,
Yeah,
yeah,
anyone
because
can go on
anybody
and
can go in
change
and
it.
change stuff in it, it becomes a less
Well, they need.
less important viable first source. Look to the sources that they are quoting within the Wikipedia article and go to them.
Well, they still need, proof that.
No, they don't.
No.
No, they don't.
They just need a source, and they can say whatever they want.
Whoa.
Who was it?
I
I think it was
No, that
It was you.
See, that's what I need to do. Find that.
Yeah. You would, you would answer, start treating people.
I only did once. It was Caleb, remember?
There we go.
King and BBC.
It's a key. Yeah, after we figure that out, I just.
Do you guys see ideas?
Universal airline offers the first in-flight.
They weren't as common. And those that did occur were very, very quiet.
What?
Papi, yeah.
What is this, the divorce rate? Hell. I don't wanna buy things.
Georgia Tech. beats
No, but you know what,
Carolina
that
87 in
is,
15
it looks
quiz.
like it's selling old antiques and stuff, it gives you an idea of the kinds of items that you can trail on. And that may be enough point to get your brain around.
Well, at least from places.
You think it's possible to go ask my grandma?
Not right this very second, no.
How much do you want us to write for each day?
Are you gonna ask me how much to write for each one?
Hey, Scotch tape was developed in Minnesota.
Yay! Wait, what? Really?
In the 19th
A half a page to a page summary would probably do the trick
One each?
for each.
What? Logs.
That's right, remember the.
You're kidding.
Lincoln Logs and sandbox food.
She asked.
I'll put her.
She's lying.
No, not really.
I know.
I mean, you guys really need to understand the material behind it, right?
What font though?
12 point,
I don't,
always.
I
Yeah,
don't
Rocky,
understand.
right there.
Don't understand what, you know.
Economic strictly.
How are we supposed to make that?
I'll make
the
how much
Same. Research. Looking at more than one site.
Yes, but what are we trying to do?
Listen, do you remember I told you guys, if you ask me how long, I'll tell you,
Don't ask her.
right?
I don't.
I'm looking for completeness, is what I'm
Okay,
looking for.
see, here's the problem.
You, hang on.
Oh, sorry. Right.
Everybody, hi. Everybody make sure of that, all right? Be complete in your understanding of the items, not just to complete the assignment. An understanding of the assignment.
Okay, what? I was asking though.
Yes.
showing me any information.
Oh,
that I
that's
want.
why you have to dig deeper.
When did you say about asking the slang
Also,
That's
thing?
why I go to like.
You would
Last
tell
class
us?
Also,
period.
I'm not looking for full hard facts, I'm just kind of looking for like information, so. There you go, we're gonna be just for, so.
Look at the look at the sources they give you at Wikipedia.
Yeah, and also,
And then
I'm
go
not
to
looking
those.
for full hard facts, I'm just looking for like
No.
dates and times things existed.
Coca-Cola founder
Like,
died.
well, because I'm 100% accurate, it gives you a few.
Really?
Dang it, 40s.
Really?
Dang it, it was in the late 40s.
Buffalo. Buffalo.
How long are we gonna get you work on this?
This is due like before you leave today.
What?
Yes.
I think I'm from 1 year.
Oh my god, I'm having.
I'm only
We
6.
just had this conversation. Listen, if you guys don't listen when I speak and you just hear me speaking, you're going to miss lots of things. I want complete things going on in your research. If I tell you to go find me a half a page to a page, I'm gonna get nothing but copied and pasted information. You don't research. Remember, I've told you, if you ask me for a length, I'll give you one. 9 times out of 10, you won't like it, right? I want you to be in an understanding mode towards finding this stuff. Not just simply to complete it and forget it. So, be complete in your research. Okay?
So what happens when I don't get the stuff I did in the
Work hard.
next 3 minutes?
Well, here's the other part that I will point out, especially among freshmen. You really do have to get to work. You really do have to focus and do the stuff, okay? Yeah.
Are you saying that the brainstorming was the due date or the whole thing due date?
Brainstorm. That's the only thing you're doing today.
Okay, good. 'Cause I'm like, I just know I'm doing all that research today. Brainstorming easy there, but there we go.
See, that's what I'm talking about. If you want to say something to me, I'd really appreciate it if you just say it to me. Okay? But here's the deal. I just finished saying to you guys, you really have to focus and concentrate on what you're doing. And then when I come around just to see what you're doing, you're not doing that. You're talking to each other, complaining about the assignment. I am a very easygoing person. I'm going to push the limits to what you guys think is something you can do. But you really have to focus and get to work. Right now, you're more concerned about, oh my God, I might get a bad grade because I don't get it in today. And I'm more concerned about you getting the material. So focus on the research. Don't focus on the negative. Okay?
I didn't realize this was in the 1920s. What?
I don't know what to search.
What are you searching? What have you tried so far? Tell me what you're looking for.
I don't even know.
Yeah, okay, tell me the big thing. What are you looking for? Don't look at this anymore, look at,
1930s.
what about it?
Just stuff
What stuff?
that is unique about that time.
It doesn't even have to be unique, because I'll be honest with you, 1930s, 2015, it's all gonna be unique. Okay, so tell me what you'd be looking for. Well, what do you think? Don't look at the computer, just. So what do you think? What kind of a search can you do to find material? I don't know, it doesn't work in my book.
Neither am I, but I don't know.
Yes, you do. So where would you start?
Source. I'm gonna take that as yes.
What do we call that stuff that's occurred prior to today?
Found one? Nobody can steal it? It's mine.
That's a big question.
Chocolate chips.
No, in the past. What do we call the past?
No, to take it. I already have that.
What do we call the past?
In the 1930s?
Are you serious?
What do we call the past?
I won't do that, but like,
No, kiddo, please stop. You're looking at the board for an answer here. What do we call the
Chocolate.
past? Yes,
Chipperoos.
take a class in it almost every year.
Okay.
Okay, you don't have to.
Sorry.
Okay, I do have one thing to say.
History, right? It's in the past, that's history, right? So try looking for the history of the 1930s, see what you find. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
What if this stuff isn't interesting to you?
I find something that's interesting to
Can
you.
you survive the
That's why it's so broad.
I love cookies.
Before you leave, please upload what you have done currently. Everyone in here right this very second should upload a document.
I just
That's
asked
okay.
out of it.
Upload a document right now.
My computer's.
I twitched into all of it.
So plug it in
I
and
twitched.
upload a document.
Oh,
Regardless of how much you have done, upload a document.
There's gonna be a lot of.
That's okay.
that's
Yes,
the
ma'am.
thing. I jumped.
Bell rang.
That's okay.
Bell
How
rang.
do I just upload a
point.
document?
Yes.
Yeah, I hit all the four because I jumped on it.
Really
I
good.
hit all the photos.
Oh, just bees.
I'm supposed to upload it.
You can't, obviously. You're going to go find your computer, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I had a really
Fine.
Yeah, I
Fine.
could've-
What do we, it's
What
not ready.
happened was like the bell rang and I had to.
Guys, 1936, the first tampon was invented.
Am I allowed to go?
Yes.
Do it, buddy.
No, that's not
Oh,
important.
kiddo, that's so hard on your charger.
Okay.
It is. Oh, you should care.
Okay.
And then after you send
Oh,
it,
God.
Go, 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 go. Once it's sent, once it's uploaded, go away.
Please.
What you do?
Did you read my essay?
No, not yet. They're all due today, so I won't read them until.
Is it the same seats as last time?
Miss, Miss
get out of here.
Here's my paper. I know where I'm sitting.
You go to the moto.
A bad.
Click.
You know where you're sitting, buddy? Buddy, you're sitting one more down.
What's going on?
That's Kayla says. One more down, buddy. No. Same.
Haley, you're wearing my shirt. You're so stupid.
Take this
God,
water
Kim,
bottle.
you're so nice.
Everyone sit down now.
We're not playing.
I can put this on, Jackie.
You just have to get I'm gonna be late
I'll do that on the ice show.
Sorry! Hey, John,
I
get
didn't
back
even
here.
look.
Yeah, you did.
Why do you like that? Like I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Let me know if you need
buy an
help
album.
something.
Addie, I love you.
I don't know. I had to drop off this young.
I'm gonna go put this in my locker.
Zach, let me know if he's grumpy. I'll let him know it's my fault. Matt, are you going down? No, algebra, geometry.
Who's ready to?
Oh, algebra. I'm not sure like what Zach you're talking to. I'm sorry.
Is that chewy smooth over? No.
Are you ready to go?
Always. I didn't even do this today. Mr. Denny must have done it. Remember last night, why we put it all back in rows and everything? Mr. Denny must have done it
I
today.
don't know what you might be.
No,
Bring it to every without looking.
All right. All right. Your essays are due today, all right? Huh? All right, awesome. We need to have a really quick talk about printing stuff off and giving it to me by hand.
I thought we were supposed to turn it into Edmodo.
You are,
Oh.
yes.
Okay.
I just had to have a talk with the freshmen too. All of my freshmen think they need to print everything, write on it, and then hand it to me. No. Yeah, submit it through Edmodo. I'm assuming you have that saved somewhere, right? Yeah, let's save a few thousand trees. I worked with the school district this past summer, and the teachers, mind you, there are 10 of them in the high school that I worked with. Those 10 teachers printed 18,000 sheets apiece. So anytime you can submit something through Edmodo, I'm for it. I like the environment, okay? And ink is expensive. Yes.
So where is this group at in respect to?
I put their grades in.
You did?
I did this morning. Yeah.
Perfect,
Awesome.
awesome.
Yes.
You're the bomb, Mrs.
Oh.
Joy, you're the bomb.
All right, so, yeah, anytime, Word docs, those kinds of things, there might be a few things I have you actually print off or something like that, but wow, it just takes me so long to go home and then I'll lose it and I'll spill coffee on it.
Oh my,
Yeah.
I forgot my laptop.
It's a where's it
In my locker.
Tyler.
Dude,
Tyler, come prepared for
at?
class.
Thank you, Cody, yes, go get it, go get it.
Your thing is not following, by
Alright.
the way.
All right, easy enough?
Oh, I
Yes,
forgot
no,
my
forever hold the
shoe.
peace? Are you, you're gonna upload that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Perfect, yes, I love
The
it.
thing is blinking red.
Oh my good, that's because it's still recording. That's good. Yes, yes.
Jacob.
And now he's going to see whether or not he needs to blow his
Is
nose
it
or
on the
something.
screen?
So, oh, young people, wow, it's working here. And that thing I think has a problem with it. It
I'm
hasn't
on
stopped
fire.
running.
Let's open the window.
But that doesn't help. What happens when you open the window?
It gets cold in here.
And what happens to the heater?
That's making me nervous.
It gets worse.
It gets worse, it does. So, there you go.
Well, you decided.
All right, are we good to go?
Yes.
No, forever hold the
Golden.
peace. All right, I made a couple decisions this weekend.
No, my.
All good,
I'm awesome. Yep.
all good decisions. All right?
I'm single.
Are you all here finally?
No, Daisy's gone. Daisy.
She's always gone.
Why is she always gone?
She was giving out that speech.
I would never miss, okay, so yeah,
Oh my.
Lisa's gone, all right. But
Yeah,
Jared's
she's
back,
very
yay, Jared's back.
Her and Jared.
Yeah, she's just depressed because she doesn't get the Mustang.
Dude, I heard you were out.
Did, well, the Mustang is, you know, that's okay.
What happened? Did her and Jared break up?
Yeah.
You don't say.
And she's depressed because she doesn't get any more money from Jared.
Wait, she depressed about breaking up with them?
I feel like she's more depressed about you.
Because she doesn't
We
get
tried looking
any
through your
money
locker
from
the
it.
next day.
So now she just drives herself.
One, two,
Yeah.
three.
You didn't take it home.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't have it since Jared drives her
Oh,
everywhere.
Jared can still drive.
Are you
Jared
serious?
still drives
And they're talking about
They
getting
said
back
one
together.
butter.
All right, my turn, my turn. I know, I'm trying to do the math here.
You need
I
a
need
chocolate.
5 groups of 3.
Jared, 5 groups of 3.
5 groups of 3, move
Already
yourselves.
claimed Jesus.
Move
Sean!
yourselves.
Sean!
See?
Oh, wait a minute, I should give you some prior warning here, before you pick people. Before you pick people, okay?
Holy, that's an evil laugh.
It is an evil laugh. You will be stuck with these people in your group for about 2 weeks.
Sean!
Wait, I'm gonna make it worse.
I'm okay
I'm
with
gonna make it
it.
worse.
Jesus, are you
No
kidding
way.
me?
I am, I'm gonna make it worse, alright?
Why'd you open my one?
Your very
Do
life
you hate me?
depends upon the people you choose to be in this group.
Oh, Jared, I can't be with you.
No, Jason, he's with me.
Yeah,
No, he's
He's in
not.
my
Because I know
group.
you're a broken case.
Young people, move your desks so that you are where you
Shane,
are.
come over here.
Get
up there,
Sean.
Leave him. God.
Sean?
I don't know.
He's not. He's not even trying. What
Hey,
did Shane say?
Austin, there's 2 open desks right here.
There are 2 open desks right here.
Skinny or me?
And look, watch how this works. These desks, God bless America, the engineers made them light enough that even us old folks can move them.
I'm not strong enough to
There you go.
I'm not that young.
Young people.
Tyler, can I have the rest of this?
No, sit.
Another one now.
Jesus is gonna
Yeah,
be
now you have to turn.
Sophomores, my turn. Find a seat.
Sean,
He's a big boy, he
Is
can
this
deal
on
with
YouTube?
this. Alright. Chewy, if it's not off, you wanna make sure it's off to a hard shut off.
Sean.
I think you're doing
I-
something.
Is it broken?
Yeah.
It's turning back on.
I know, you need to make sure it's left off.
She does. Come on.
You
Yes.
gotta make it face us, silly goose.
Right?
Come on.
Get over that thing so
Is it
cry.
another Mexican joke, Jesus? Because yours have been
Tyler.
It's two
Yes,
words,
I
I don't
did.
even know how.
You're gonna be proud of me.
Oh.
Are you gonna explain this to Tyler? Revenge of the OJ.
Alright.
I hate you. That's another $50.
You do
You
know
got
that,
insurance on it though.
you remember I said the very life of you depends upon the group you choose.
Where's my OJ?
They've kind of abandoned you.
You threw it away.
I don't know, I didn't see anything.
That's
Oh,
like-
you can drink of it. Where's my OJ?
Alright, are we there?
That's all.
Alright, let's not sit on the desk either, it
Oh,
breaks
my
them.
bad.
And they're expensive, they're more expensive than your computer some days.
Here you go.
Which one?
Me, I'm
Maybe I
helping
should
you.
force the OJ on you just to make it feel.
The very first thing that you need to do in your group is you need to create a group name. Now, please keep in mind, school appropriate, right? School appropriate.
GWAR. First thing I thought.
Sean James.
Type 2 credit.
Oh, why are they name on
It's
the
just
right
scratchy.
here?
We're a group of two. Tyler, we're a group of two. Dude, now my arm's all sticky and so.
It's the weakest
I
link.
honestly don't.
Okay.
Should we try to turn it back on?
Handicap one.
Okay.
Dude, it's working perfectly fine.
I just used Tyler's.
Alright, are we good?
I don't care about that. I care about my OJ.
Oh, that's,
Where is it?
I don't,
I
Cody had it
chugged
last.
Holy.
Yeah, you're under the bus there, Cody.
Bruh, look at that.
How you know that I
don't care about my OJ,
That sounds like something
guys.
German.
Alright, ready?
It sounds like an actual German name.
Well,
Eastgas.
That's the worst that happened.
Hey, we should have a last name too.
You let it sit there for a little while.
Make it
Can
a
I go and like wash my arms off?
Quickly. Alright? I need a name from each group and you have about 30 seconds to come
Me
up
and
with
Tyler
one.
are group two.
30 seconds.
I
I have really great timing. You know the best part is that's on video.
Oh, you got a video?
Hey,
$4,000.
Like
can we have like a first name and a last
Last
name?
name.
We shipped our names together.
East
Hang
House.
on a minute, we're gonna have to.
What is it, Isabel?
No, don't tell anybody.
You guys can start like.
You're welcome. Yes, that was. You have one too?
No, that sounds like something German.
School appropriate?
Yeah.
It's
You
pretty
guys
bad.
have names?
No.
Oh.
Jason, put your OJ.
Then take it down.
want a name that's like,
Oh,
is this your OJ?
Yeah, it's got here.
Yeah, so we are, you're the hybrid.
What's your favorite?
Three
Second Mexican
That's
and
this
one
dude
Mexican.
here.
I'm a huge Stooge fan.
Look at that.
Yeah, so Mexican and Guatemala.
Alright, so go like this.
That's cool. This is not.
Our name is JC and Sean forever. Oh yeah, it's JC and Sean forever. No, he's not.
Atomic reactor.
No, the camera on her.
You're a liar. Jesus, I'm sorry, that was the last time.
That was a good time
I
though.
don't even care about.
It's your, like-
Oh, your screen's glitching out like usual.
Alright, ready?
And then
All
JC
right.
and Sean forever.
Share, ready? Real quick, share your names.
What's our team name?
Combine.
The Combines.
Funky monkeys.
Like the Jerry Garcia ice cream people. Ben and Jerry's, there you go.
JC and Sean.
No.
Oh my, is that bad?
No, it's good.
Do it 5 JC.
Tyler.
That's even longer.
JC and Sean forever.
Awesome. Name?
Us,
Yes.
super dude.
No, they're a group of two.
Oh, they are? Oh,
Is that even legal?
The groupies.
it might be
We're the groupies.
humorous.
Oh.
We're the groupies.
The groupies?
The groupies.
Should have been named Orange Juice.
Alright.
OJ.
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 It should be OJ if Sean isn't happy with our names.
Alright, very first thing I want you to do, just somebody in your group, go ahead and open up a Word doc, something that you can share with the other members of your group.
No, I was on.
Got you guys.
We're about to go to the other side.
I got it, man. I got it.
You're gonna contribute.
No, go.
Here we go.
A blank word
Not
doc.
on my computer.
Kyle, it's you twice in a row.
Oh, I would put my hand in
I'll
my
tell you that. You did what you did. You were like,
Stop.
and then the first-
Nose goes.
Alright, ready? Here we go. Nose goes.
Ooh, that was a tie break. Rocket versus scissors.
All right, are we there?
No, you already.
All right, you must do this. You must choose a natural event that could, if possible, destroy the world. Now, by natural event, it cannot be done by man. So a nuclear weapon is done by man. We are not going to deal with zombies, although I know some of you believe those are real things. So what I'm talking about here are like a massive hurricane, a massive typhoon, a giant tornado, a tsunami, a volcano.
Hitting the earth.
All right?
I used it, I'm gonna take it.
It does matter. It does. But it's not counted. So I'm just doing the whole room. So pick a natural event.
Can you tell her we cannot have dinosaurs?
We need to delete that video.
You didn't said dinosaurs. I said comet hitting the earth. Dinosaur. Liar. That's how they end.
You show Mr.
Oh.
I don't know if he doesn't see it. I don't have any point of showing anybody. I just
I said
You don't even watch it?
I don't know what that is.
I've edited one video this entire year, and that's because I had a kid who dropped something on his foot and said something that was embarrassing.
Well, you might have to black out Tyler's finger.
Well, he did something
I know, but that's kind
that
of.
embarrassed him.
That's kind of funny.
He showed the little birdie.
No.
Birdies. To
Tyler.
the camera.
We can do a comet hitting the earth, right?
Absolutely.
A comet hitting the
Hurricane.
earth. There we go.
You should have named yourself
Do
Rich.
you have a natural event?
No, we're thinking.
Decide.
And blowing up. No,
Quickly, like 20 seconds, you have to have this
comet was
event
on
down.
fire and it went in and all of a sudden. Okay.
So what
20
do you
seconds.
want? I guess like.
Hair loss.
Put your name and your group on that sheet too, please.
Haley's comet.
Natural what?
Natural event that would destroy
The
the
name of our group.
Hair loss.
In particular,
What was it? The second
explosion.
Monkeys.
Yeah.
Okay, excuse me, but if you go into somewhere where there's only gas and there's a and then a sinkhole happens and the whole land is saturated with gas.
Dude, the OJ's in this thing.
Or an oil spill, there's oil spills all over.
But that's man-made.
Oh. Gas is
Hey, this photo looks a little bit better now. He probably like walked in.
I love it. All right, do we have it? Make sure that's the way you go out. All right.
I got one.
What?
Dude, monkeys learning how to.
Nice.
We
Alright.
all got
actually a thing.
All right, ready? Here's the next thing that you need to decide among your group. You need to pick a geographic area. Your geographic area cannot be a continent. So you can't just say Africa. You need to make it more specific. You can say Southern Africa, you can say Northern Africa, you can say Southern South America, or Northern, but not the entire continent.
Hey, what are we saying? Phoenix, Arizona.
That's pretty specific.
North America.
Southern.
Come on.
Do it no
Do it in like
East or west?
A train moving west.
No.
Timbuktu.
Because I'd say there's a lot.
Virginia.
I'd say there's a lot of difference between south and southwest.
Southeastern North America.
Southern or West Virginia.
Is that really how you do it?
How we doing?
Hey, can we go to Mr. Schaefer's room really quick? Or can we Google?
No, I'm gonna go down.
No, I want to go to.
Southwest.
Google on it.
You said we can't use.
I can, if they were going with the natural disaster.
Okay, northeast.
You should get a
Is your geography bad? Do you have a geographic area? That's not,
No, you said northeast.
You have sticky itis.
Oh, that reminds me too much of actually
West Coast. Oh God, that kills me considering she was a fucking son.
Okay.
East Coast then?
You like
Is that seriously?
You have to admit sometimes that it's true.
do we need more time?
We should have did
Few more
the eastern
minutes.
side of southern.
Get it done, Pat.
Southern.
Starbruken, that's a
West
good
Coast.
We're doing Starbruken.
Dude, that's gonna light on fire because not when you're
from somebody chasing it.
What part of the US?
The West Coast. Durr.
What is it?
That's where our ancestors came from.
He can fix it. Yeah.
Oh, you're doing fun.
Oh, I hate you. Guys are good.
Yeah.
Jordan, where you going? Bell. You don't know that song?
Yeah.
We're the Buffalo.
All right, very cool. All right,
T-dubs.
ready? Do an enter on your thing.
Enter.
And I want you to take the people who you are in a group with, and I want you to make a hierarchical chain of people.
I didn't hear you.
Put someone in charge
Dylan's in charge.
and give jobs to the other people. So somebody's going to be a leader,
You're a farmer.
and the other two people must have a specific job, but what that specific job is completely up to your group.
I'm a leader. Wait. What are we supposed to be doing?
My job
I didn't hear the
Who's
first.
the leader?
My job is to do what I say.
I'm the leader.
leader.
Jobs to the
I
other
am
two.
But what is our mission?
Stop. Not being leader.
Alright.
I'm sorry.
All right, we'll go.
Sean is the singer.
No.
Yeah. No way.
Don't go too far.
Kyle's leader.
Like there's no way.
Ethan's leader. He knows the most. What are you doing?
He's
The harvester.
Oh, okay.
She likes to sing.
No, I don't.
So she might be in charge of it.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Entertainment.
Laura.
Put her up there. Don't call her. Sean's the tech guy. Sean has to frame her. Come on, entertainer. Sean. Mr. Brenner.
Florida 3.
No, that's not.
Can we type it?
We said Laura.
Can we type it?
Don't be nice.
Don't lie.
So who's leader here?
Yeah, 30 to 45 minutes you have to shoot.
This is what I'm
Click on it. One, and that's how you
She
do
might
it.
be in charge of putting.
Yeah, hold his arms. You
Boom. Kyle's leader. You won.
No, I actually have to download the on here. Then just project on the computer and show it.
give him a job.
Jobs, where's leader?
Oh, that's a house.
Leader, job.
To do what I say.
You're mid. You're mid too.
Absolute monarchy, boys. That's what we got right here. They make up 99%.
He could be a good person that like. He could be the person that like tries to solve the problem.
Just right, make sure it's
Why can't I be the one?
No, he's a
Well, I could be the person like.
All right, the next one is easy. My turn.
General. He can be the person who like solves the problem.
All right, cool. Ready? I need you to choose a season.
Summer.
Cinnamon.
Not spice. What? A season.
Hurricanes happen in the past.
No.
Okay.
We can drive cross country. Mine doesn't have a light on it. The dash.
Gotta get him warmed up.
Leader, we fall. Always agree. Says to go jump off a bridge. I'm not gonna ask how
All right, ready? And the last thing that you need to do is you need to pick a time span. And because of where I know this assignment is going, you don't quite yet know. I'm going to work in a 2-generation time span. So a generation is 20 years. So you need to choose a 40-year time span. Keep in mind, there are multiple years in the future that have not existed yet that you are welcome to choose from. You are also welcome to choose from anything that has existed previous to this.
Whoa.
2010.
How about 19? No, the 1960s.
And you have a 40-year time span.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. So you either go backwards
No,
or
it's
forwards.
only the change.
Or you go 2095 or 2020.
Did that thing start recording?
Yeah.
We had to decide on it too. We get to decide on it too.
Dude, that camera got you.
We get to decide on it too. It's not just you, leader.
Flipping
We
your
get to
bird.
decide on it. Do we get to decide on it too?
That, you better edit that video.
Why do we have to go all the way to the 3000?
It got Tyler
Too
going.
far. Give me your robots. Too many robots.
Jordan.
Oh, you gotta do 20.
So just choose a random year.
40 years.
Flip your screen.
40-year time.
Basically,
Like
90.
2000, 2040. 2040, 2080. Do it.
I no longer like.
All right, young people, ready?
I wanted to be a warrior, and now you're the warrior.
So these guys stop me?
Are we good? Yes, no, hold peace, have a seat.
Never hold your peace. I don't have peace.
At least be in the
I like
60s,
go
because I like the 60s time period. Like the 2060s.
All right.
29, 60s.
Hey!
No, I'm not.
In your email account, send that to me and to your group mates.
I don't have any group mates, I have groupies.
Groupies. There you go. Send it to me and to your group.
I'm gonna name it. What is it?
Why does she have to send, why do they have to send it to us? We're all talking about it.
So in case she's not here, you still have access to it.
I'll send it to me and then.
Today's also just
They're going to keep us awesome.
And my address is up on the board.
Bell.
Send it to me.
Third.
Yeah, that's all you got.
Not good.
No.
Don't go through the story. I got OJ on the J.
Our story is the hippies were trying, the hippies came back and tried to save the world in the 60s, but then the gasoline took over. Yes, there we go, now we have a compromise that his best friend's gonna come. No, we made a compromise.
What is this? Why is it clock?
Jordan.
Why is it?
Don't touch anything of mine, seriously.
You know, you can do that all in one email, right?
Except I don't know their emails, so.
What is clock? Capital K,
Oh,
capital G, 3, 4, 1,
Oh, Tyler.
JG3387 at k12.sd.us. Put it in there.
What would you do for York?
JC what? Clark.
Are we good? Yep, a group email. Don't ever group message me, that annoys me. Emails are fine, group messages are.
The Big Albert of 29.
No.
The Big Albert of.
No. Don't.
Upper subject. Type in
Dodge.
What's your email?
Big Albert.
What?
USA.
Never mind stuff.
You actually want to send it to me as
No, mushroom fish.
You sent me this?
Change group, I got it.
Holla!
You give mine. CW.
Open that in there.
I sent it to Mrs. Frizzy.
Sending it right now.
Yeah, fine.
Jesus,
I don't know that.
do you agree on big hours?
There you go, you should've got mine.
That's where I check out his shit.
Austin's group.
Would you send it to me?
That's the name of the trust stop.
CW 37.
The name of the
Can I go to the bathroom?
event.
37.
No, it was running.
372.
No, 30.
It was running this way.
Oh,
So
sorry.
You
get mine?
Look at that.
So 3072.
Hit Kwan.
Who's done I have yet?
You don't have French.
If this is
You remember that?
Do a group chat.
yeah, I did.
JG, capital, capital.
Oh, I
3-3.
Alright, we good?
At
3072.
3072.
wow. Yeah, that's me. No, Redito. Redito. You know, you could send
That's fine.
Alright, my turn. Alright, the goal over the next 2 weeks. The goal over the next 2 weeks is really going to be very simple.
I didn't get it.
My turn. You're going to do the following in these small groups.
Okay.
You've set up your own extinction, basically.
Sick.
You've determined how your world might end. You've determined who's in charge when it occurs. You've determined the time of year it's going to happen. And you've determined the location you are at. All of which will be advantageous for some of you and not so advantageous for others.
I'm Mexican.
All right, so over the course of the next 2 weeks, you're going to set up your own government, your own set of laws, do your own research towards figuring out whether or not your stuff works.
Absolute monarchy. Just
I built bombs.
In addition,
Mexican.
in addition, you're also going to be reading a short story. And I'm hoping it's one that you read when you were in junior high.
What is it called?
Animal Farm.
No idea.
Is that a no?
Well, we might have read it, we just don't remember the name.
Really?
I love that book.
It is a great book.
Yeah, I bet you do.
You like that book?
Bet you never read
Oh, my god, it's no.
Please no.
That's just not.
I'm not reading that book.
Schneider, short. Miss Schneider,
Oh
short.
no.
Short.
No.
Oh, no, no, not short.
Oh, it's like, this is like written for like little people. Big print.
I have print.
I thought you were
Big-
college.
Oh my god.
I'd rather go give another speech than read your book.
Oh, take that copy.
Is this the?
Oh, I'm already
the one about the college frat guy?
Is this the one about the college frat guy? Well, these are big words.
Remember that.
All right.
Big print. Big print.
I got cheats.
This is very normal sized print.
All right, my turn. My turn.
Yeah.
All right. So when you read anything like this, I'll be completely honest with you. The preference in reading this would be I told you that this was due tomorrow and you go home and read it all. I know you guys are busier than that, and I know that some of your reading skills aren't up to reading something like this overnight, right? All right, so the other thing, all right, I cannot do it. I cannot listen to books on tape, but if you were to go to YouTube you can find these kinds of things online, not the movie necessarily, right? But somebody reading the audiobook, okay? If you do that, you should follow along. I can't do it, I get lost. I can't listen to a book I take, it drives me insane. Okay? Hi. Oh, awesome.
Pass those out.
Sure. Absolutely.
Can you do it now?
In a second.
Is that ours?
In a second, they are.
This is a bad one.
No, they're just.
They are.
I'm ready for that.
Are you? Alright, so here's the deal with this, and this is where you guys get some input on this.
Teacher?
Mrs. Schneider? Alright, what's the problem, kiddo? Did you break it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, I think it's okay, man. All you gotta do is turn it off and back on.
You spilled orange juice on it.
Turn it off and back on.
Tyler, where's your
Why are you so surprised that I'm on gold?
Still my turn.
I'm surprised you're even.
Still my turn.
It's changing color.
Here we go. Still my turn. I promise. I promise. Alright, in a second. Alright? Awesome. Alright, I'll be honest with you. This book is a book on two different levels. It is a kid's story. When I say a kid's story, it literally is about animals on a farm.
Yee.
Because the second side of that story is that it is also a political novel, and all of the animals are symbolic of famous political leaders throughout history, specifically Russia.
Hitler.
I told you.
So, on one level, it's a very cute kid's story. On another level, it's an incredibly symbolic novel with a very, very difficult to understand premise. I'll be honest with you. This would take me a long time to read. I'm kind of thinking I'd love to have chapter 1 read by Wednesday. That's not.
By when?
Today.
Chapter 1?
Chapter 1, 10 pages, not a big deal.
I read like a page a day.
I'll read them all.
We're gonna be at a business camp.
Oh,
I
that's
told you that.
I know, I know.
He said.
It'll be in Edmodo, like you're doing.
French
You're gonna be alone
You're gonna be on your
Yeah,
own.
Clark, it's got a 5 minutes.
In the
Go, what does
We may not do it.
Put all the days on V10, buddy.
On the day of that, shout out.
You know, everyone was sassy this
Guess who's tied for number 1?
Even if you were to print it, it'll still show up.
Be nice to Mrs. Ridley.
No, you're not gonna see
She knows that Tyler because he doesn't have a jar.
You're not
See if
gonna
I
be
can
able
do
to
this. Tell me if I screw up, because in reality, you probably shouldn't.
I thought you had short legs.
You are not helpful.
How?
I'm making sure that I know all your names yet.
Well, what if you give mine to the wrong person?
They'll tell me.
Hey, I'm Troy.
Yeah.
I am Kate.
How?
Don't make him do it.
You won't? You have a year.
Oh.
Yeah, what does that mean?
What does the 1 mean?
4 A's, 2 B's.
Jesus, maybe you know. Why is there a 1 and then there's a 2?
I have 4 A's.
Like there?
I gotta show these guys. I'm gonna see if there's a B there, and then like that.
There's honestly,
So
there's
which
so
one
many.
is mine? Is he still gone?
Oh, it's in progress?
That means I'm still in gold.
Kyle.
What is it? P? Literally 4 A's. That's
Progress.
P means
Done.
pass, doesn't
I'll
it?
show you.
Progress. Already means pass.
Dude, I'll throw it away, but I want to prove it.
I don't understand why I just see it.
Wow, what does P mean though? I have that.
What is your progress?
Are you the one on the shirt?
I don't know.
Please, Jesus.
Oh my god.
Kyle, hit me.
Hurry up.
Come on, Odell.
Try hard.
You want
I
it?
have 5 A's for each of these. One of them must be a B.
Buddy, I got one more. Biology and English. I would be
This is for the Schneider. Would you like to buy some fudge or some coffee? Miss Schneider.
Tyler, did you see?
Do you wanna buy some coffee?
Yeah.
Hey, I have
These are
Sit, I'm not done with you and I'm not gonna let you go anywhere until I'm done. What?
Did you see?
Alright, so, 2 things. Ready? Gentlemen, thank you. We just throw those away?
Yep.
Why do we just throw those away?
Because they're progress.
Actually, I have to take the A's because
My parents don't need to see that.
My mom's gonna beat my.
I don't know what P stands for either, other than
I don't
it's the
know
very
either.
last letter. On Friday, you guys were all P for here because I didn't have your grades in.
Just know if I don't come next week, I'm dead.
Literally. You'd be dead.
Yes.
You don't know my parents.
I know your parents.
Interesting.
I know your dad.
It's okay.
You're a mandatory reporter, now you need to go to.
Cody, what do you have to have done for tomorrow?
I don't know.
At least paragraph 1.
Paragraph 1.
Oh, wow. No. You should not listen to Chewy.
Chapter 1.
For when? Wednesday.
All right.
Alright? Tomorrow, get right into your groups.
I like this, Jesus.
Alright?
Dylan, don't be late.
Do we have to bring the book?
Dylan, can I be your leader too?
Yes.
No, Zach.
Alright?
Let's
Easy enough? Yes, no purple
So,
cheese.
yeah, I got you.
What? Dylan.
I don't know what's gonna happen with you with your
We're gonna take a
computer.
picture.
Why was there a little thing at the bottom?
Tyler, turn it. Yeah, what?
Wait, Zach, help somebody.
You're gonna wanna make it unsticky at some
I help him
point.
with everything.
I know Mr. Pranger sometimes. He's a really nice guy.
This is
No,
Schneider,
he's
I have a
not.
question.
I'm not on my phone.
I put my phone down like Jared.
Hey, how much do you make off? $20.
There's 7 hours of like
No, at $10.
school a day. So put it out for at least 5 hours.
Hey, you gonna buy some fudge and some
Okay,
coffee?
so
I'll bring it in on
we
Wednesday.
basically don't do anything with it. You then you're on your
Yeah,
phone.
it's
So
fine.
next page, you're on your phone the whole time, or your computer. And then after that, you're on your phone or your computer. You do another stuff.
Candles.
And then fourth
I'm on
page.
my phone, not all the
Need
Third hour.
more people to sign my.
Same. I don't because I haven't figured out.